it's been a while since I've done a Facebook live stream, so super excited to be here with you all this evening. My name is Chase Pemberton. I'm the clinic director here at Barkman Smith Physical Therapy's Irving location, and we are really excited to have you with us tonight. So in just a moment, I'm going to introduce our wonderful guest here, but I'm excited to share her experience with us here at Barkman & Smith and allow her to interview me tonight. I also want to take the time out to say thank you to everyone who has liked, commented, and or shared Barkman & Smith Physical Therapy's content on all of our social media platforms. We want to hear from all of you as well. Your opinion truly matters to us, so please share details on topics related to physical and occupational therapy that you would like us to cover. We're here to help you get back to doing the things you love. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the wonderful Marie.
Hi.
We're so glad to have you with us.
Thanks.
So before we get to the grilling session, I just wanted to start with one thing for you. For our viewers, I would just like you to share a little bit about your experience here at Barkman & Smith.
You walked me through everything, told me what to expect, did some measurements for my range of motion, and it was just great. And then in the end, you measured me again, and I found out I had improved significantly. And you gave me exercises to do at home, which will help a lot. It's been a wonderful experience. Thank you, Barbara, my girlfriend. Thanks.
We'll make sure to cut that check to you after the video. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
So now we'll flip the script, and you can ask me a few questions, okay?
What do you enjoy about being a physical therapist?
I think it's a close call between really being able to establish a connection on a personal level with patients over the course of their treatment. You know, that person's coming in probably much like you were the first day in a vulnerable place and not truly sure what to expect, and just seeing that relationship grow over the course of that time frame. And secondly, I love the paperwork.
Oh, I bet. What would we
Close
do
between
without
those
it?
two.
What is your favorite thing to do on your day off? Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I think I have too many hobbies.
Too many?
I like bowling. I like cooking.
I like
is
bowling.
a really big one. Bowling's one of my favorite things to do. I enjoy playing the drums. I think my favorite thing to do is traveling with my wife Rachel and our little dog Angus, though. That's probably top of the list. Absolutely.
I love to travel.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
I know I probably shouldn't say this as a health conscious medical practitioner, but if you put a fried pork chop in front of me, then that's the end of it. That's number one, far and away.
Where did you grow up?
Until I was 10, I grew up in the little town of Greenwood. Population was about 80 people. And then at the age of 10, my dad decided we were going to move to the big city of Bridgeport, also out in Wise County. So I grew up there and until I was time to go to college.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Were you in sports? Or?
I was. So I played basketball, baseball, football. I ran track. So I did just about everything.
I can see the basketball.
Yeah.
You have the height for it.
Was my favorite, absolutely.
What is the one little thing people would be surprised to hear about you?
I was actually a singer in a heavy metal band when I was in high school, like full buzz cut, black hair, really angsty time in my life.
And what did you do in the band?
I was the singer.
Oh, you screamed the
singing. Yeah, singing's a loose definition of what I did. So, yeah, did that for about 6 months. So that's always a fun thing to share with people.
Yeah.
It's a good icebreaker.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
What advice would you tell your 16-year-old self?
Oh, that's a good question. On one side of things, I would probably tell myself to not worry so much about the end result of everything. Just try to enjoy things a little bit more. I think I was very goal driven as far as trying to get a scholarship for sports and, focused on getting a little better every day, when I think I let some things pass me by that maybe I shouldn't have. I know that's kind of flipped from what most people would probably tell their teenage selves, but
Right.
yeah.
Were you a good student?
I was. I grew up in a household where if you did not have an A, then we were going to have a talk.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I quickly made the decision that I was in fact going to be a good student.
Yeah,
Mhm.
wow, good for you.
Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
What type of food do you like?
I'm really open to I'll try anything once. There's not really a food group or anything that I don't like. I would say the one thing I won't eat is like tuna salad.
Really?
Absolutely repulsed by that smell.
I
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, that's the one thing though.
As a healthcare provider, what is your favorite body part to treat?
Favorite body part would probably be the cervical spine. I really enjoy treating people who have neck pain and deal with headaches.
Imagine
That's something that I dealt with for a long time. So being able to be a little bit more empathetic, it certainly lends itself to being a little more inspired when you're coming in and treating that body
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, me. You did good on me.
I'm
That
glad to
that
hear
was
it. Yes,
great.
ma'am.
And you have wonderful hands.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, massages were awesome.
Went to school for a decade. I better.
Yes, for sure.
So the first one I see is, what is your favorite group or song? My favorite group is probably a band called Lamb of God. Very much in the heavy metal vein of things, so that's my 5 a.m. wake up music, my workout music, and my wind down music. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow.
What about you? Who's your favorite group?
The Eagles.
The Eagles? I know we've had that talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite Eagles song?
Oh my gosh. Pick one. Hotel California.
Hotel California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to a concert back in 75, 76,
Okay.
something like that. And Jimmy Buffett opened for them and stuff. And
That's an
it was
interesting
fun.
mix.
Yeah, right? It was. Yeah. The thing back then is the light. Today they use their lights on their cell phones. Back then they used lighters
Yeah.
at the end and stuff. It was really big difference. And really
Absolutely.
interesting. A lot of fun.
That changes the ambiance a little.
Yeah. We started out at the beginning of the field and up front by the band, but by the time everybody got in there, we got pushed
You
back.
got pushed back.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Made for an easy exit though.
Eh.
Not so much.
My hair got pulled. Somebody stepped on my hand.
She had the full concert
Oh, yeah,
experience.
very much so. But it was fun. I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world.
Okay. So let's see. One is, what other settings have I worked in? Really, outpatient's the one I've worked in as a professional. In my clinical rotations, I worked in the cardiovascular ICU and the trauma ICU as well, which
Wow.
were both intensive is certainly not a misnomer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Very interesting though.
Very.
Very
yeah.
different pace from outpatient setting. For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I worked a lot in the medical field too, so.
What did you do
That's
in the medical field
interesting.
again?
Well, I worked in cardiopulmonary
Okay.
at one time.
Gotcha.
EKGs and did the Holter monitors and all of
A lot of
that.
telemetry and
It was
things like that.
interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
A couple years.
A couple years. Okay.
Mhm. But I worked part-time in receptionist and radiology too. I had a wide
Had
variety.
a wide array of
Yeah.
things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we're asking, what's the
What-
hardest job I've ever had? I started working with my dad when I was 13, and he owns a landscaping business. So the combination of manual labor and my father's my boss, I'd probably say
Oh, wow.
my hardest job I've ever had.
I think the hardest job I ever had was working in a nursing home.
I can imagine
And
that.
that was rough.
Yeah,
It was rewarding, but rough.
absolutely.
You get attached to them.
And that's a tough place to
Yeah.
have that happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll let you ask this one.
Okay. How long have you worked for Barkman and Smith Physical Therapy?
So I worked as a technician for almost 4 years and then went to graduate school, so there was a break in between, and now I'm entering into, so 2 full years. Now we're working on the 3rd right now. So
Wow.
all in all, getting close to 7.
What is your favorite patient injury story?
My favorite story,
Ooh.
from the standpoint of just being able to see how physical therapy can impact someone's life. I had an individual who hadn't walked in 8 years, and after working with us for roughly 3 months, we got to the point where we were able to traverse at least 100 feet back and forth with a walker. So it's things like that get me up in the morning.
Yes, that's rewarding.
Absolutely.
That makes it all worthwhile.
I hold on to that moment very
Yeah.
dearly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your favorite place you've traveled to, and where would you like to travel that you haven't been to before?
My wife and I went to Costa Rica for our honeymoon, and I would say that's probably my favorite trip I've ever been on. It was just genuinely the most beautiful place I've ever
Yeah.
seen. As far as where I'd like to go, Europe's on the list. I've never been to Europe, in particular Germany would probably be at the top of my list, because my grandma was from, always
Yeah.
wanted to see where she had come from, so that's
Aw.
high up there.
That's nice.
Absolutely.
That's really nice. Where did you go to school?
Where didn't I go to school? I started off at Hendrix College in beautiful Conway, Arkansas, and then in my sophomore year of my undergraduate, I transferred back to UTA. I've also spent some time at Tarrant County Community College and Weatherford Community College, and then I went to my graduate program for PT school at UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas.
Nice. Nice.
So I've been all over the Metroplex.
Who is your favorite therapist at Barkman Smith?
Well, there's a mirror right in front of me, but outside of that, I would say they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's probably the person that thinks you should say their name.
What is your specialty within physical therapy?
As far as specialties go, I'm certified in manipulations of the cervical and lumbar spines,
Yes.
as well as I have an LSVT certification, so I'm certified to work with folks who have Parkinson's disease and
Yeah.
Parkinsonian-like syndromes. So I would say those are my 2. But working here in this setting within the last year plus, I would say I'm becoming more and more in touch with chronic pain syndrome and that umbrella of things, and that's something that I've really grown to enjoy treating.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'll be 40 years old. I've made it that far.
Are you?
I will be in 10 years.
Oh, in 10 years, right. Okay.
Hopefully, couple kids, life's going well, just continuing down the path that I'm on right now. I'm in a good place in my life, so let's keep that ball rolling.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think we're waiting on 1 or 2 more. Let's see.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned in physical therapy?
The greatest lesson I've learned in physical therapy. You can always make plans in the day-to-day routine, but inevitably there will always be something
That's true.
that will come in and throw you off the tracks, and you have to learn to be patient and adaptable.
Yes.
I would say that's what's served me best as a therapist thus far.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If working with your father was your hardest job, how does working with your father-in-law?
I'd say it's a close second, but Dad still takes the cake.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Somehow I knew that one was coming eventually. Absolutely.
Most people don't know that the Smith of Barkman and Smith is Chase's father.
Actually, my father-in-law. Yeah.
Which is why it comes in a close second.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Oh, wow.
I'm a glutton for punishment. Uh-huh.
We hired him anyway,
Wow.
Despite my background.
despite your family connection.
Yeah.
Oh, That's cool.
So we'll give folks just a minute and see if we got any more. Looks like we got a couple coming in.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I think given my job, and I've watched most of the videos from my cohort, and I'm a little disappointed in their answers, but I would probably go with X-ray vision. I have people all the time. How well do you think this is healing? And
yeah.
and I think
that
if I
makes
had
sense.
X-ray vision, then
Yeah, you
am
could
I
see where their aches and
absolutely
pains were.
some
and
answers would be a
stuff.
lot more clear.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's mandatory. That might be our last one.
How do you feel about the Packers?
How do I feel about the Packers? As a Cowboys fan, not great. I know that has not gone our way in the last
Yeah.
2.5 decades, but if you want to pay Aaron Rodgers $200 million to lose in the NFC Championship, then that's perfectly fine with me.
What was the first job you ever had?
Actually, my first job was working with my dad.
Yeah?
I've really only had a couple jobs.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite holiday and why?
By far my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving because I can eat like I normally do without judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
absolutely.
Yeah, I like it. Did you always want to be a PT?
No, I actually started off my undergraduate going into pre-law. I thought I was going to become a lawyer.
Oh,
hmm
interesting.
I got into about my 5th history course and realized that that was not the path that I wanted to take at that point in time.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a little known fact. That surprised me.
Absolutely. It's a little change of pace.
If you weren't a physical therapist, what would you be? Besides the lawyer.
I think I'd like to be a chef, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. You like to cook?
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
passion of mine outside of physical therapy, so.
Well, what's your specialty that you like to cook?
I like trying anything. I think I make a pretty mean pot of spaghetti. I would say probably bolognese is my specialty,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
Good
a
stuff.
solid pork tenderloin.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
We try to be versatile.
yeah, that's good.
Let's see.
Led Zeppelin of the Beatles?
Or the
Or the Beatles. Yeah, Led Zeppelin or the Beatles.
Neither. I'm going Black Sabbath all day, every day. But if I had to pick, I'm going Led Zeppelin. And I think that'll be our last question. So we'll wrap it up here tonight. Wanted to say thank you again for coming in and taking the time to do
No
this.
problem. It was
Enjoyed this a
fun.
lot. Yes,
It was really
ma'am.
fun.
Absolutely.
Learned a lot about you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and that's always interesting.
You bet.
Yeah. And thank you for everything you've done for me.
It's my pleasure. That's
I
what
feel a lot better.
That is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
So thank you
Yeah.
for coming to see us and being a part of the BSPT family.
Yeah. If anyone ever hesitates about having physical therapy, don't. Do it. Do it, because it works.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much so.